Okay, boys and girls, today we are going to be talking about fractions, decimals, and percents. I think it's in a different order on your notes packet, but you know which page we are on. So please have that out and open. There's nothing for you to write today except for the examples, so do have a pencil out for that part of it. So today we have to talk about how to change decimals into percents and fractions into percents, since yesterday we learned how to go the other direction. So let's start with the easier one first. Let's first talk about how to rename a decimal as a percent. So what we're going to be doing today is the opposite of what we did yesterday. We need to move the decimal place to the right. It should say 2 times, or you are going to times by 100. Remember, the percent is always going to be bigger than the decimal. Then we also need to make sure we add a percent symbol. Now, I don't have Beyonce for us for today, but real quick, we're going to listen to a little snippet for a remix for her song that says,
to the right, remix, to the right.
All right, so because you guys were wanting music so badly, hopefully that came through. His little remix of going to the right, to the right. So we need to move the decimal to the right today. So let's write down 0.38, or I would say that as 38 hundredths. And as we just heard, we now move the decimal to the right. You always need to be moving it to make the percent the bigger number. So now I get 38, add the percent symbol, 38% for my answer. Is my percent bigger than what I started with? Yes. So then I know I moved it in the right direction. Okay, well, let's try the second one. Let's write down 1.45, or 1 and 45 hundredths. And I need to again move the decimal to the right 2 times to make my percent look like the bigger number. So I'm going to move my decimal to the right to get 145%. Again, what you need to remember is to move the decimal point to make the percent bigger. So if you get confused if you're moving it to the left or to the right, move it the direction so the percent looks like the bigger one. All right, the last and final thing, we need to quickly do a couple more examples. If I have 22 hundredths, 0.22, again, it would go to the right, so that would become 22%. I hope that you're seeing that these are closely related. Now, if I have something like 0.5, again, if I move it to the right, I have to fill in an extra 0 there in order for it to be able to be moved to the right twice. So that would equal 50%. You don't have to write these down with me, by the way. Sorry if you already started. And then if I have 1.75 to the right gives me 175% for my answer. All right, now let's move on to renaming percents or fractions into percents. This is going to be the one that's going to require the most work. You notice I have a calculator up on the screen, which hopefully works in this video, unlike the other video I tried to use it. But what we're going to be doing is we need to actually do 2 steps in this. When I want to change a fraction into a percent, I first need to divide the numerator by the denominator. Remember, dividing it makes it into a decimal. So we're going to change our fraction into a decimal, which we learned back in chapter 4. So on my calculator, let's write down 9/20ths on our paper. We're going to do 9 divided by 20. I'm so happy this works right now. 9 divided by 20 equals 0.45. So again, the line in the middle tells me to divide. So I'm going to divide, and dividing turns things into decimals. Then what I need to do is I need to move the decimal 2 places to the right, because again, my percent is always going to be bigger than the decimal. So when I move this to the right, you end up with getting 45%. So 9/20ths equals 45%. Remember, our fractions and percents won't always look similar. Okay, that's it for our video for today. See you in class tomorrow.